and welcome to another episode of HPCritical, a podcast where my friends and I talk all things gaming. I'm your host, Jerel, and I am joined by Kellie.
Hi.
Brandon.
Yo.
Gabe.
Remember to vote for Pedro.
God. As you guys may or may not be able to tell, this week is our Halloween episode, so we all dressed up as our favorite, or rather not our favorite. We all dressed up for Halloween, and this is going to be really annoying, me adjusting this. But it's so great to see you guys. I think you're all super adorable, Kupo, because I'm a Moogle. Anyway,
Yes.
We have a lot of things to discuss with the news that went on this week, and we're going to talk a little bit about what we're doing for Halloween. So first things first, I'm going to fix my hood so I can actually see. All right, I should have tried this before we started. Anyway, first of all, how are you guys doing?
Good.
I'm doing pretty good. This has been a pretty good day, all in all, honestly.
That's good to hear. How you doing, Napoleon?
Well, earlier at lunch, someone decided to take my tots, so not too good, but at least I still got Tina the llama out back.
Honestly, I appreciate your commitment, Gabe. Won't lie.
I don't know who this Gabe is you keep talking about. But...
Oh, sorry. I appreciate your commitment, Napoleon.
Thanks.
Anywho, so speaking of what we've been playing, I want to talk a little bit about what Kellie and Gabe and I have been playing recently, which is Call of Duty Warzone. But
I just want to say really quick, you didn't let Kellie say how her day was, and I don't appreciate that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kellie. How was your day?
It was okay. That's all.
Anyway, I just said it was good. Did you not?
I said good. Yes.
See, I heard her. You didn't hear. Whatever.
I have hair in my ear. I can't hear.
Anyway, so we played Call of Duty Warzone, and thanks to Kellie, because if it weren't for her, we wouldn't have done it. So thank you, Kellie. And it was a ton of fun. Super fucking scary, though. Which one did we play?
We did a lot of plunder, which now they have quads, so we're gonna have to get Brandon in on this. The plunder quads for the Haunting of Verdansk, playlist now. And we did some Zombie Royale, but that wasn't as fun as that plunder, which was
gosh, that was great.
Awesome. That was so much fun. I actually made another one of my friends play with me yesterday.
And
it was
on your stream, right?
Yeah, I streamed it.
Yeah, so like we can just go back and watch it, yeah?
Yeah, we should.
All right, so yeah, anyone who didn't get to watch, you should totally watch me and Gabe be super pussies while Kellie just runs through and just is like cool as fuck the entire time.
Legit though, like Gabe was killing it with all those kills. I couldn't kill for anything.
He was.
But we were getting all that money. It was so much fun.
I think top 5 almost every time.
Yeah.
And we were in first a few times, so you should definitely check it out. It was a lot of fun. And also check out Kellie's streams, of course, and Gabe's YouTube, and Brandon's streams for HPCritical as well, obviously. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we move on to the news for the week?
Yeah, when you watch your stream, make sure you have the volume turned down a little bit.
Yeah,
because we are screaming the entire time.
There are jump scares when you open the boxes now, so like be careful of that. That was fun.
Yeah, they're jump scares, and I got one and I screamed, and I felt really bad because I screamed in their ears. But then Gabe, literally, Gabe didn't get one the entire game until like the last match, and then he just yelled like a fucking baby, and it was
because he was refusing to even open them. He was like, "I'm not even gonna open any,"
because he was being pussy.
I have no excuse for it. I was just scared. That's all it was. I'm terrified.
Oh, wow.
And that's okay.
Thank you, Brandon.
And that's okay.
So before we get to the console casters portion of our podcast, I do want to talk about the current news, which is that I'm sure we all saw Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed again until December 12th or 17th. What's the date? Anybody know? Doesn't matter.
December 10th.
I don't know.
Oh, I was wrong the whole time. It's been delayed until December 10th. So that is, I think we said last time when we were talking about it, it's a 7-month delay. And now that's what, a 9-month delay, I think. This game just keeps getting pushed back. And I wanted to bring it up because I know that we talked about what would happen if it were pushed back again. Specifically, I was like, they can't push it back anymore. And they totally did. And not only did they have to push it back, but apparently, according to Eurogamer.net, they've been threatened with death threats because of the progress of this title. And of course, there are the memes that are saying that the game is until 2077.
Yeah.
So since we talked about crunch and what crunch means for them and all that stuff about the game, how do you guys feel about it being delayed again, a whole month? And and actually before you go, sorry, Gabe did mention to me why it was delayed. Do you want to bring up why it was delayed really quick?
Yeah, one of the reasons they said it was delayed was because they wanted to be able to release everything at once, meaning they wanted their Jerel, you gotta stop.
Yeah, keep going. Keep talking, Gabe. Focus.
I can't. They
can't.
want to
That's all.
have their day zero patches ready to go, like because originally it was supposed to come out November 10th, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it was gonna come out November 10th,
And
but the
between
PS5 came out 2 days after that, so they weren't gonna be able to use they weren't gonna be able to patch all versions of the game at the same time. So that was one of the reasonings. They want to be able to patch their day zero for current gen, next gen, and for PC.
All right, so how are we feeling about this delay again?
I think I was just gonna say that, like, I think for them to, like, first off, like, games getting delayed is nothing new. Obviously that happens. Like, we talked about the last time we discussed this, like the delay that they had this time was like really close, and in our last podcast we said the only time they delay when it's that close is because they encountered like some game breaking bug or something like that. In Gabe's case, he's saying that the reason for this delay is because they're trying to optimize all the versions at the same time, which this is we really don't get many games that really think about that too much, because even if a new next gen version does come out, usually like, because with Cyberpunk, like that game was supposed to come out like in the middle of this year, right?
Yeah.
Like that was the
April,
original date. Yeah. So because of that delay, it made like a chain reaction of it them unwittingly making it a new now next gen title. So like, well, now that it's coming this close to next gen, we better make sure it works for it. So like, it's just been a chain of events that just kind of led up into the situation which we've never really seen before. And at this point, it's crazy that they had to do another delay after the last delay, which was like so close to release. But like, I guess we've never really been in this situation before. So, okay, it sucks, but I mean, it better be good, man. Like this like
this game better be good, Cooper.
Like that many months delay, and now it's making sure that it's optimized for all the consoles. Yeah, I hope all of it works out in the end. I really do.
Well, I think that people are just, at this point tired of seeing the same game delayed over and over, especially after the hubbaloo whatever of the crunch situation.
Yeah.
You're right.
Like, oh, we got to crunch so that we can finish and make this date. Just kidding. We crunched and we're still not making it. But I'm all for people getting paid. So hopefully, we still got to check in to make sure that the devs are getting paid what they're supposed to. I mean, at this point, I don't even care. I'm just gonna get it whenever it comes out because I pre-ordered it, and I'm hoping, like you said, that the game is good, and we'll see what happens.
I know people are tired about the delays and stuff, but I've never understood what the point of sending death threats to somebody because of something like that for. That's so overboard. But then that also makes me wonder about, they had that big crunch thing earlier this year. Like, I don't want to be mean when I say it, but like, since it wasn't loosely based off what they said, since it wasn't exactly like a mandatory crunch, it makes me wonder if having optional crunches actually does anything for your game, because it kind of looks like it doesn't. But
yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, you did an optional crunch, it didn't work. Maybe optional crunches don't work. Now you have to have mandatory crunch to get it done. But I mean, we don't know, obviously.
Yeah. But it makes you wonder, like, what happened during that crunch.
You all right there, Pedro?
I don't think it's
Choked on a tot.
Choked on a tot. The implications of what that could mean, I won't go into. Kelly, did you want to add?
I am a kids movie, man.
What? You choked on a tot? Tater tots are like lunch, whatever. Anyway, Kelly, did you want to add in on this?
Yeah, I mean, death threats, there's really no reason for it, but I just don't know, like who's making these decisions? Like, if you're gonna delay a game, why didn't they just delay it until December? Like, what do they need a few more weeks for? Like, what is really getting accomplished? I think that they should have just maybe thought a little bit more last time they delayed it. And if they said December, people would have been fine.
Yeah.
But now they said November, and now they're saying December. So is it going to be January? Like, now I'm not convinced it's coming out in December at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I figured that, like I said, they should have just said December. Maybe they should have just given themselves a little bit more time than they really needed. I'd rather overestimate how much time I need, because if it's still around Christmas, you're still going to get the sales.
Yeah,
realistically.
you're right.
I mean, and it's not like it's going to be on sale, because, you know, we never get brand new games on sale. So, like, I think they probably just wanted to capitalize on, at that point, you know, the last bit of current gen and the new version of next, or the beginning of next gen. And I forgot what I was going to say. So I'm going to move on with that one. I just hope that, you know, everything goes well for them. Please don't send people death. That's so stupid.
Don't do it.
I can imagine working on this game for 7 years and then just someone telling me to go kill myself, or that they're going to go kill me because they're mad that it hasn't come out yet, when I'm trying my hardest to make it good enough so that when it does come out, it's worth the wait. You know, that's trash.
It's funny that people will make death threats over, like, a video game, but, like, they won't make death threats over stuff that really matters, you know?
Exactly.
Like, we have, like, bigger stuff going on right now. I mean, there's, like, COVID. No one's getting death threats over that.
Right? Like,
that's, like, something that's actually causing deaths. But
exactly.
But no, my video game's not out, so this is the last straw, sir.
Yep.
I don't know.
The thing I was going to say, I remember now, is that it was because they had someone had tweeted them and said that they wanted to make sure that the game's coming out so they can request the day off. And then they said yes, and literally the next day they were like, "Just kidding, it's not coming out for another month." And
that was hilarious.
That's
but to follow up on that, like I did check the Twitter of that guy who you're referring to, and his boss was nice enough to give him those days back when he showed him the tweet storm that happened like immediately.
Oh my god!
Like, he submitted his Twitter, and his boss was like, "All right, you can have him back."
Yeah, and you know, people have to remember that that might have been, you know, someone who's in charge of the social media marketing and the Twitter, who said yes and then found out later on that the answer was actually no, because they weren't privy to, you know, internal conversations or whatever. You know, sometimes I say something and then I look at HPCritical's Twitter and then something else goes out and I'm like, what? Who did that? So, you know, things happen. Gabe and Brandon are very quiet because it was probably one of them. Anyway, so speaking of game delays, both Far Cry 6 and Rainbow Six Quarantine have been delayed. Were any of you looking forward to any of those games, and do you even care at this point about game delays? How you feeling?
I haven't cared about game delays in a long time, because personally for me, I mean, it's a game I'm looking forward to. Of course, it's gonna sting a little, but the thing is, I have so many games in my backlog already that at the point, like, anything can get delayed, and I'll be like, you know what, that's fine. Take your time. Make sure it's good if that's what you need the delay for, because more often than not, delays help the game be better. So, like, just let it do its thing. I'll play something else in the meantime. So that's me on delays.
Well, and just so you guys are aware, Far Cry 6 initially had a February 18th, 2021 release date, and it's been pushed back beyond Q1, which puts the launch window anywhere between April 2021 all the way to March 2022. And Rainbow Six Quarantine has been shifted around, slated for a similar window as Far Cry 6, and that is from GameInformer.com, written by Liana Rupert. That's where we're getting that information from. So anybody else want to weigh in on this delay?
I mean, they're kind of expected by now, with everything that's been going on in the world. Like,
yeah, especially people should be prepared for it at this point. Yeah. Like delays for anything.
Yeah,
but I'm okay with it
delays
because.
Are expected.
Yeah. What?
No, delays are just expected at this point. I mean, COVID just kind of threw a wrench in a lot of things, not just video games, but that was just one thing that was affected. So it's not really surprising.
The games I care about aren't coming out for like another 5-10 years, so I don't.
Red.
It just kind of helps whenever it's 2021, because you don't think of it as like soon.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like if it's delayed from like February to April of 2021, I don't care. That's next year. Like, I'm not even thinking about that yet, you know?
Right.
I'm focusing on 2020. There's plenty of stuff going on. But like, if it was like now and getting delayed until 2021, it would be like, that's a lot. But it's not really. It doesn't feel like it's right now. But I would be interested in some of those games actually.
Yeah, I'm interested in Far Cry 6 just to see how it does based on the content of the game, based on, the controversy around having Giancarlo Esposito as, playing a Hispanic character and he's not Hispanic, that whole thing, especially with the content of what Far Cry 6 is going to be. I'm actually very interested to see how Ubisoft does that because a lot of times they attempt to work on really heavy projects with really heavy storylines and then it comes out like a joke a lot of the time, so I'm really interested to see how that works out. But anybody else have anything on that before I segue? Because I got a good one.
Dang it. Go segue away.
It's too late. I forgot it. Anyway, I remember.
Go.
So, speaking of game delays, I think that Nintendo does a really great job with their directs at the way that they announce games, because recently they literally announce a game and it comes out sometimes less than a month after its announcement.
Yeah.
The longest has been 2 months since its announcement. We got Hyrule Warriors announced, what, last month, was it? Or the month before?
That sounds right.
Yeah, we did. Yes! And it's coming out on the 20th of November, right? The 22nd of November?
No, 20th.
Oh, okay, I was right the first time. So, sorry, my cat just jumped on my lap. I'm so sorry. Anyway,
oh my God.
Huh?
I said HPCritical moments.
So I really like that Nintendo does that. I mean, even Bravely Default 2, we had a supposed release date of this year. We finally got one for February 22nd, I think, of 2021. So it's not that far off. So Nintendo does a really great job at holding off on announcing things until they're ready. And that's why I don't think we've had really too many issues on delays with Nintendo. But speaking of Nintendo, they just did a direct mini showcase, which Brandon, please, as the Nintendo expert, I forgot what your nickname is again.
Nintendo enthusiast.
Nintendo enthusiast, please tell us all about what happened on the Direct so we can give some impressions.
Absolutely. So yes, this was Nintendo's final partner showcase, Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase. It's their last one that they're doing for the year. They were doing like a bunch of these. I think this is their fourth one that they have done like within the last few months. It was like a monthly thing. But anyway, for the final one, again, focusing mostly on third-party titles coming from Nintendo. They let off with Bravely Default 2, as Jerel pointed out. This game was scheduled for 2020, but because of like the feedback that they had gotten from the demo they released in March and, COVID, and just other little improvements they wanted to make the game, they made the decision to push it back to February 2021, which is not a huge delay.
Can I say something really quick?
Sure, go right for it.
That's another thing that I really like about Nintendo. Like, we don't know why Cyberpunk keeps getting delayed. Like, we aren't aware of what's happening. But with Bravely Second, they literally put out the demo. They asked for feedback, and they addressed all the feedback, and some of it was actually some of the things I was complaining about, which was really cool to see. I know when I watched it, I was like, oh my God, we were talking about this.
Quick, real quick aside. Did you watch that feedback video yet?
I finally did, yes.
Okay, yes, yeah. I was so happy watching that video because like literally two of the things I put in there was like one of the front center things. Like, yes, they're fixing that. I was like,
exactly, and I think it's really cool that they're very transparent about why they're doing this delay, right? So they did say 2020 was the year that it was coming out, but then they're like, hey, so these are the things we changed, this is what we fixed, we listened to you, this is what's coming out, this is what we're working on, and that's why it's coming out later, as opposed to hey, this game is delayed because we need to work on it, and that's it. Yeah, and I think that makes a difference. But sorry, continue.
I agree. No, absolutely. So yeah, that's pretty much Bravely Default 2, and then after that we announced was Story of Seasons. That's a spin-off of Harvest Moon, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And it's funny because Story of Seasons, the release date of that is coming on the same day as Rune Factory 5, which is also a Harvest Moon spinoff. So I'm like, what are you guys doing there? But anyways, moving right along. Then there's this game called Surviving the Aftermath. Then they showed off the Switch port of Immortals Phoenix Rising. I gotta be honest, like for Immortals Phoenix Rising, if I get that game, probably not gonna be on Switch because I was looking at that gameplay.
Same.
Glad that it runs on Switch, but I was like,
on Switch.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Yeah, I'll probably get that on other platforms. I decided to get that. That's that one was looking too hot. But anyways, moving along. Then they did kind of like a mini sizzle reel kind of thing. Bakugan got announced. Well, not announced, but it was like shown more. Griffland and then Tropico 6. And then, surprisingly enough, they talked about to cloud version games that are coming to Switch, which is crazy because they've done cloud version games on Switch with RE7, I think was the first one, but that was only in Japan. So they're bringing Hitman 3 as well as Control over as part as cloud games. And how those games work is I was looking at them in the eShop. Basically, you can download the game for free, and then basically you do like I think it's like the 5 to 10 minute test to make sure your internet connection can actually run the game effectively. And then after that test, you're sent to a different page where you can fully purchase the game. And like I think that's a smart thing to do because can you imagine the fallout if someone like spent $60 on a game, but their internet was so shit that they couldn't run the game, and then you just wasted $60.
Super Smash Bros.
I mean, you can run the game. It's just like if you play online, but like this is like the entire game could just run bad if your internet's just not good. So you get that little test there. So it's interesting to see if these games work out on Switch. Like I guess if you really do have a good connection, then you're pretty much getting comparable to the console experiences on Switch. If you can run that.
I have a question, Brandon.
What's up?
Because I was actually going to ask you how the cloud saves work. So like so that does not mean that because when I hear cloud saves,
cloud version, not cloud saves, but I'm sure it has cloud saves as well.
So would that essentially mean that I can pick up where I left off? Like let's say on the Xbox, if I repurchased Control on the
no, I don't think it works that way. It's just a cloud version. All the cloud version means is that the game itself is not natively running on your Switch. It's basically you're basically streaming the game essentially, which is why Hitman and Control on Switch looks exactly like the other console versions because it's not running on the Switch hardware. You're just literally pulling an Xbox Game Pass, a PlayStation Now, or a Stadia or whatever on your Switch basically for those. Yeah, that's all it is. And again, if your connection's good, then the game will be fine. You'll be able to play it no problem because they're basically single-player experiences. But if it's not, then they won't. It's that simple, which is why they let you do the test beforehand to see if your Switch can or your internet can run.
Question: because since you play on PC a lot, because when we were playing, she was on PC. By the way, we're doing crossplay. How do you feel about cloud saves? Cloud versions of games on consoles? Like, how do you feel hearing about that? Does that concern you at all with like having to play an entire game like Control on the Switch from the cloud? Or are you just like it's cool?
It would be cool with me as long as I feel like my internet's not that good, and especially if I'm trying to pull the game from a cloud and also stream it. I feel like that might be more taxing. I don't mind to stream it directly because I could probably do that because my download is pretty good, but trying to download it and then also re-upload it to stream might be a little bit difficult. But I don't really have a problem with it. I mean, I'd rather not download them if I could because of storage space.
Yeah, because the Switch has none. Gabe, how do you feel about cloud games on Switch?
I don't like that little swipe you just took at the save, but
I'm sorry, hold on. The Switch has 32 gigabytes of storage, does it not? Like out of the box, am I wrong or am I right?
Anyway, as I was
32
saying,
gigabytes, exactly. That is
but isn't it easy to upgrade that?
Yeah, you act like buying the micro SD is like buying the Xbox extra thing. That's like a whole other system. It's not. It's like $2.
But if your entire
it ain't no $2.
I bought 128 for $5.
Okay, but if your entire gimmick is handheld, I would hope that you came with more than 32 gigabytes in total.
But they're trying to keep it at that $300 price point, maybe. I mean, that is something else.
Yeah,
and
but
also,
then your first party
a lot
titles
of the
like
games
Smash
aren't that big.
Then your first party titles like Smash require how much? Like,
all right, that's Smash, but like the rest of their games aren't that big.
Bruh, don't make me pull my Switch out right now and see how big these games are.
If one
Smash
of their
is 13.6.
games, if Smash is that big, then that would be kind of a problem.
It's like half of the internal storage.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
That's crazy.
Why? I understand why Jerel is upset now.
You can't sell me a system for $300 and then one game is half the storage of that system. And then tell me if I want more, I have to go purchase a separate memory card.
Yeah, I mean, they could make it even like 320 or 350. And like they could add so much more memory for that little bit of extra money.
Not to mention that the Xbox Series S is how much? The same price as the Switch. And how much storage does that have on it? I don't remember, but it's more than 32 damn gigabytes.
It's 500 gigs, right? I think it's 500.
Yes,
Well,
which is
portable.
way more than 32. Which is why the Switch should have more.
So
but it's not a handheld console.
We want to talk about the storage. Smash Bros. Yeah, I'll give it that one. That's the biggest one. That's 16 gigabytes. But the rest of their first-party title games. Hold on. The rest of their first-party title games: Animal Crossing 6.9, Super Mario 3D All Stars 4.8. Where is it?
Fine.
Super Mario Maker 2.
So I want to. Before you continue, Gabe, I just want to point out, Nintendo, like most Nintendo games, are at a lower gigabyte rate if you download them, because Nintendo knows how to properly compress their stuff and their hardware. Whereas third-party developers, they don't know the Switch as well as Nintendo does, so they have these big-ass downloads to their Switch that like if any one third-party game, if you're downloading that like digitally, that's it. You need an SD card. It's like required. In fact, the third-party games on like the boxes themselves will say may require additional download, SD card recommended, whatever, something like that.
But like, why does my phone come with like a minimum of 64 gigs now?
Right.
Like that's like the minimum.
Exactly.
All right,
like,
but also
64 is like
a lot more expensive.
Fine, true. The phone is
but
more
it's tiny. I mean, but it is tiny.
And it's portable, which is why I'm just like, look, 32 to me is not enough. If they do a Switch Pro or something, and they're competing now, even though Nintendo tries to stay out of this space, they're literally competing with Xbox Series S now, especially because they're at the same price point. And it's next gen. So if you release a Switch Pro, that's going to be your next gen thing to go, Koopa. If it's going to be your next gen thing to go along with, the rest of the next gen stuff, you're going to have an upgraded model. You can't come in with 32 gigabytes at $300 when the X has 500.
At least give the option. At least give the option for more.
Yeah.
Which I guess you can buy it on your own. But I mean, if they had a different price point with like more memory, that would be a selling point.
And the Nintendo ones cost even more for no reason. And Nintendo specific micro SD cards from Nintendo literally cost way more than any other one. I don't. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna, whatever.
That's not a good argument. You don't use them.
But that's the point I'm trying to make is if you go through directly Nintendo like the entire time, like if a parent goes in and doesn't know what to buy for more storage and they see the Nintendo branded micro SD card that says, works for Nintendo Switch, they're going to spend $35 instead of spending half that on Amazon. And
well, that's their problem.
That is true. That is true. It is their problem. That's true. Gabe, make your point. I want to move on. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I'm getting upset.
I'm sorry, what?
Did you? We were talking. You were.
Dude, we started arguing. I forgot what my point was.
All right, great. So Brandon, finish telling us about the direct.
The direct, yeah, sure. Yeah, so the next announcement there was they've not only did they show a more gameplay of No More Heroes 3, like actual gameplay, because we've been kind of getting pretty light on gameplay for No More Heroes 3 lately. Mm-hmm. They showed it. It's coming out in February, by the way, 2021. But they also, first off, hold on, before I say this, one of the taglines for the trailer for No More Heroes 3 was the Galaxy versus the Hood. And I laughed out loud reading that. I was like, what?
I'm actually really embarrassed.
Oh
like,
secondhand embarrassment when I read that. Hilarious thing I've ever read in a game, like the Galaxy versus the Hood. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah, I was
but like, anyways, after that trailer, then they revealed with Travis Touchdown's own voice was saying, No More Heroes 1 and 2 are coming to Switch ported, and they're out now. Like in that same direct, they got both these games ported for Switch, like within the same day. The people were asking for this for months, and they just dropped it like suddenly. And I'm seeing online that people are saying that the ports are actually really good. Like they're running 60 FPS.
They came in at 20% off too.
Yeah. You can get them for like $17 instead of the 20 whenever the sale's done. So you get both games and they're like 60 FPS, HD, and they have both Pro Controller and Motion Controller support if you want to play it like how it was in the Wii. That's crazy that they have been working on that so long that they just shadow dropped it and it's on sale now. So like if you've never played the No More Hero games, like this is your chance. I'm gonna be playing it now because I wanted to for a long time, but I never really had the opportunity. And I know Grayson has been like yelling at me for like forever to like play it. So Yeah,
Rodrigo is like huge.
Rodrigo loves him too. Yeah, he most certainly does. He was excited about that. But yeah, that was
Also,
What's up?
Immortals Phoenix Rising is 13 megabytes on your Switch, just in case. You should probably play it somewhere else because it looks better and it will not
Unless
take up
you
almost half of your storage.
desperately need to play that game handheld, play that somewhere else. And this is coming from a Switch fan. But yeah, but moving on. Then after that, they showed this game called Part-Time UFO, which I want to point out, this game apparently has been out on mobile for 2 years, and I had no idea. I thought I dead asked that this was a new game. But no, HAL Laboratory just made this game, and it looks just like the UFO enemy from like Kirby's Adventure, which is intentional because HAL Laboratories. And like the whole game is like a puzzle game where you're just like stacking different things. You can either stack cheerleaders on top of each other to make like a pattern. If a farmer drops all his stuff off his truck, you can stack it back on the truck. There's like so many different like puzzles you can solve and whatnot. And of course, it's HAL Laboratory game, so Kirby cameos are there. You can like stack little like Kirby dolls showing like a crane game. It's very cute. I downloaded it instantly because I jived with it a lot. But the last announcement that was on the direct, which I get, this is the most loosest of like third party, but I guess Koei Tecmo is making the game. But yeah, they showed off a little more of Hyrule Warriors Age's Calamity, showing off the Divine Beasts are playable, which is nuts to me. And then they just said, hey, demo's out now. Go download it. And yeah, that demo was crazy. If I could talk about it for literally 2 minutes, because I tried it yesterday when it came out. That demo is so good. It builds on what it takes.
Don't spoil me.
I won't spoil. I won't go into detail, but I'll talk just gameplay. If I have to compare it, it takes what was good about Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition and what was good about Breath of the Wild. It kind of puts them together while making something in a way kind of new. It builds like really good combo-based gameplay. Like you definitely have to think about it a lot more than you have to do your typical Warriors game. It's not like Hyrule Warriors is the Definitive Edition is a really good game, but aside from where your characters go, once you actually are fighting, it's pretty much hack and slash. This game, though, you have to really think about where the what kind of moves you're using. Every character feels even more distinct than they did in like the first Hyrule Warriors game. It's really good. That's all I can really say without spoilers. But yeah, it was a demo. My only complaint about it was that Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition and its previous versions on Switch and 3DS gave you the option on the menu if you could either play Warrior style or Zelda style. Warrior style, of course, the controls are just like any other Warriors game. With Zelda style, it's more tuned to Legend of Zelda players, but they don't have that option in Age of Calamity. They don't have the Zelda style, so you're pretty much playing with the Warriors controls. So if you're more familiar with the Definitive Edition, this game might take you like a few minutes to get used to, which definitely did for me. I was pressing the wrong button for like 5 minutes, but once I figured it out, I was fine. So it's not that much of an adjustment.
I haven't played the demo yet because I don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah, you're not allowed to play the demo until you finish Breath of the Wild.
I'm
not even saying that to be mean. It's just generally as like the way the demo starts, and I'm guessing the way the game's gonna start is forget configuration menu or a start menu. You just
it goes right into it.
Press start, and it shoots you into a cutscene, and the cutscene is part of Breath of the Wild.
Oh no!
Yeah, so like
yes.
If you haven't played Breath of the Wild and gotten like far into the game, the very beginning of Age of Calamity is gonna be like, haha, spoilers, and you have no warning.
But everyone's dead now.
Right into it.
I want to see them alive.
But that's another thing though. That for me, at least, the way the demo's been so far, it does a really good job of making you forget everyone's dead. Like I started.
No, it really does. He said, like I know that sounds funny, but he's right.
Yeah, like I started playing the game. I'm like, man, I can't wait to see everybody in Breath of the Wild 2. And I was like, wait a damn minute, most of these guys are dead. But
oh yeah, I should also mention that demo has like for a demo has like a few side quests you can do as well. Like you're doing the first whole story missions plus a bunch of side quests. Like what all this demo is, it's not like a tailor-made demo thing like cherry picking levels. You're literally just playing the beginning of the game up to a certain.
Yeah, they said you're playing the first chapter.
First 2 chapters. They keep saying first chapter.
Yeah, they keep saying first chapter, but it's 2.
But it's 2. I'm like, what? Like I thought the demo. All right, that was a good first chapter. That was a good demo. Wait, it's going still? Oh. Yeah. And then it's just literally just the beginning of the game they just gave you. It's like that. Oh, that's it. It's awesome.
The only other thing I'll say about the Nintendo Direct Mini is that Bravely Default 2 is 14 megabytes out of your 32 that are given on there, and the only way you can play that game is by downloading all 14 because it's only on Switch. So I'm back to complaining about
14
the
gigs.
The Switch has been out for
Yes,
3
sorry,
years now.
14
I was like,
Nintendo
14
knows
megs?
you
Like, that's
bought a
impossible.
memory stick.
I'm sorry, I meant 14 gigabytes. Cooper, leave me alone. What did you say, Gabe?
I said the Nintendo Switch has been out for 3 years now. Nintendo knows you have another a micro SD in
I
there.
don't. I've literally just have to delete everything. I have to re-download Smash all the time.
Well, see, maybe for today's podcast, you should have worn a clown outfit because it's been 3 years. Come on, Jerel. Come on,
I
Jerel.
can teach you to do the Pennywise makeup, Jerel.
And Kellie joins in. What is going on?
It's like Mog from Moggy from Remake.
Okay, well,
Like
anyway,
the golden saucer music is playing.
I'm literally gonna just hop off of Nintendo because I see him being attacked right now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
move
just
on.
funny. Honestly, listening to you guys talk about Nintendo stuff, it's just so funny. The games that you play versus the games that I play.
Yeah.
Like, I'm playing Outlast right now. There's like headless bodies hanging from the ceiling.
Oh.
And you're like talking about, oh, Breath of the Wild. And I'm like, I mean, there's just corpses everywhere in the game I'm playing, but okay, I can't relate. I don't know
That's
what
why
you
it's such a great podcast. We have such different like tastes like on this play. We can like literally talk about literally anything.
It's so funny because I literally hated Breath of the Wild when I first played it. I love it now, but when I first played it, I was like, what is this ugly ass shit? So I kind of understand where you're coming from. Yeah, no, I was a big hater. But now I'm in love.
I remember those days.
It's so wonderful.
That
I'm
was
so
the
glad
true
I
age
didn't
of
know you
Calamity.
during those days. Oh my gosh.
That shit was so bad, and now
Calamity Jerel was the ravaging Hyrule during those days.
Anyway, I'm gonna hop off of Switch now. We're gonna move on to our console caster segment. So recently we've been seeing a lot of unboxings with embargoes. So the Xbox Series X and S embargo finally lifted. So we've been able to see a bunch of influencers and media personnel unbox their Xbox Series S and X. And Kellie's face is just like, no. And we've also seen the PS5 out in the wild as well. We've finally seen size comparisons so we can see how huge that fucking console is.
It's big.
It's huge. I'm so excited. And yeah, Gabe's gonna throw in the that's what she said joke because he always does. I got it before you, haha.
I wasn't even thinking that.
Anyway, we got to see them in the wild, and we went over the launch lineup last episode. So this week I want to talk a little bit about games with gold for Nintendo 2020. And Kellie's gonna take it away here. This, I believe, is gonna be the lineup that is the first for the Xbox Series X and S.
Yes, it is. So the gold titles for November, and it'll be the first ones to come out for the X and S. So it's going to be Origami Shadow Edition and Swim Sanity, but they're also adding an Xbox 360 title, which is Lego Indiana Jones. I might like have to pick that up, honestly. Like, I love the Lego games, so that'll be fun.
That you can still play that, right? Because it's backwards compatible.
So I think you can get it on the Xbox One, and yeah, because all their games that are compatible are going to be, unless, do you think they're still putting out actual Xbox 360 games for the 360? Both of those options would be crazy. So I think you can play it on your Xbox One and your Series X.
Okay.
But yes, so it'll be, and actually they're doing an original Xbox title as well, Full Spectrum Warrior. So yeah, that's it for Xbox. Yeah, and they'll be like Origami is going to be all month, and then Swim Sanity starts in November 16th, and Lego Indiana Jones is actually the shortest one. It'll be only the 16th through the 30th of November, so.
But as long as we claim it, we can download it forever, right?
Yeah. Just claim it. I always just claim
Game
them all.
Pass.
Yeah.
So I recently found out that, Game Pass games rotate, which makes sense, but I didn't know, so that kind of diminished my excitement for Game Pass. But I mean, it is what it is. It's like Netflix, things change. So Gabe, do you want to tell us about PlayStation?
Yeah, I'll read the PlayStation ones.
In November, I know I'm really excited for one of those, which Rodrigo called me out for on Twitter because he's a dick.
You know what? We'll start with the one Jerel's excited about.
Yay!
Since November is launch month for the PlayStation 5, one of the very first PlayStation Plus games available for the PS5 owners is going to be Bugsnax.
I'm so excited!
So that's going to be available.
I'm gonna cut that out of the podcast. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna take that out for listeners.
Jerel, you screech. Defense harshly lower.
It's because I think Bugsnax looks so cute. It's like the most adorable title. It's like Grounded for PlayStation. Like, it's so adorable.
Wait, what? Wait, what is this comparison?
Because Grounded is super cute. Like, I watched Kellie play it. It's a cute ass game. Yeah, so like Bugsnax is a cute ass game. Okay. Whatever. Continue.
Cute equals buying it. Okay.
Exactly. And I don't even gotta buy it.
House.
The best part is that I don't even have to buy it because it's for free because it's a part of PlayStation Plus. So instead of shelling out $70 for this cute ass game, I get to get it for free.
Yeah,
I don't think Bugsnax was gonna be $70. I think that was gonna stay $60.
Whatever. I don't gotta pay for it either way.
Well, I'm just saying in case you're spreading false advertisement to our listeners.
You're the one who last podcast said that all the games are going to be $70 next gen. So technically, I said
a lot of games.
Oh, okay.
And NBA 2K21 was one of the first ones to launch, to do it. Which also, sidetrack, talking about NBA 2K21, even though I still hate the game, they are now introducing a WNBA, I don't remember what it's called.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so you'll be able to go into the WNBA.
That's awesome.
The other two games for PlayStation Plus, available for PS4 and PS5 owners in November. This first one, to me, is a really good one. Middle-earth: Shadow of War.
That's cool.
Really good game. And Hollow Knight: Void Heart Edition.
Definitely will get that one. I've been hearing great things about Hollow Knight. I don't own it.
Yes. You know, this is a great set of games. I won't lie. I wanted to play Hollow Knight. I wanted to play Shadow of Mordor, and I want to play Bugsnax.
Shadow of War.
Whatever. I want to play
all
of
those. Whatever.
Those.
They're two different games.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Shadow of War. That's right. Shadow of War.
Yeah, Shadow of War. Which, before you play that, you might want to go on Google and look up a couple of things.
Never mind. I'm not going to play it anymore. Too much.
Shadow of War is a good game.
I no longer want to play it.
Nah, it's just because I like it, that's why. He's like, I changed my mind. I no longer want to enjoy this game.
I have until November 20th to finish Breath of the Wild. You're telling me I gotta go research before I play another game? It's just like
literally all you have to do is just read what happens in Shadow of Mordor.
Then I might as well just read what happens in Breath of the Wild.
That's not the same.
Oh, now it's not the same. Okay. Anyway, I think...
You need to be knowing about your lore, okay, Jerel?
That's why...
Get educated on your lore.
That's why I'm just not gonna play the game, so I don't have to worry about doing all that extra stuff.
Cupcake is the worst bite of the cupcake. I hope it tastes bad and you regret that entire cupcake.
Joke's on you.
Just the last time bite.
Joke's on you. I don't actually bite into the cupcake. I only eat the icing. Haha. Anyway, I think this is a really great...
Pause?
What?
What do you do with the rest of the cupcake? That's
none of your business, Gabe. Mind your own business. I do what I want with the rest of the cupcake. I usually just take the top off and give it to the kids or something. I don't know. Somebody eats it. We can't waste it.
Can we move on?
Anyway, yes. So I think that's a really great launch lineup for, or actually for things to play on your PS5. Like Hollow Knight's a great one. I'm sure it's gonna look great on the PS5. Shadow of War, correct?
Yes, Shadow of War.
It's also probably going to look really great on the PS5, and it's you know, a game that's really well rated. So I think people have been super excited about the PlayStation November titles, and the Xbox titles have been a little iffy, unfortunately. Although I love the Lego games, so I'd be down for some Lego Indiana Jones. That's what it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd be down for some Lego Indiana Jones on.
And they still have the ones for October because it's October, so those are Slay Away Camp, Maid of Scare, and Costume Quest. That Maid of Scare was supposedly like pretty scary, so I might have to get that one.
Oh yes, download it before it goes away.
Yeah, before the end of the month.
And then, of course, we do know the PS Plus collection, which, I mean, we talked about it before. It's Bloodborne, Days Gone, Detroit Become Human, God of War, Infamous Second Son, Ratchet and Clank, The Last Guardian, The Last of Us Remastered, Until Dawn, and Uncharted 4, which are the worldwide studios, and then third-party developers have Batman Arkham Knight, Battlefield 1, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, which I don't remember being on there. Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition, Monster Hunter World, Mortal Kombat X, Persona 5, and Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. So
I don't remember Crash being there either.
Yeah, I'm just reading it from the PlayStation blog, and it's there now. I don't know if they recently just added it, or I guess they just added it. Mm-hmm.
Wait, you said the Insane Trilogy?
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. I've always wanted
I
to try
know.
that
I wanted to try it.
That's a good ad. Yeah,
yes.
Awesome. Cool.
It's really great. So when we grabbed the PS5 on November 12th, which it's 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away.
Right
and
right
the Xbox is also less than 2 weeks away. I'm just like really hype for next gen, and it's going to be really awesome to have all these games like at our fingertips day one. And don't worry, we're still searching for consoles. We're going to grab some.
We'll find them.
Find
them eventually.
No, never give up. So speaking of the PS5, we found out that as many pre-orders made in 12 hours, there were as many PS5 pre-orders made in 12 hours as the PS4 pre-orders in 12 weeks in the United States, which was a huge surprise to me, because the fact that it took 12 weeks to occur the same amount of pre-orders that they got in 12 hours means to me, and I want to know how you guys feel about it, but to me it seems as if PlayStation has really secured their place as a go-to gaming hub for gamers with this last gen, and they trust them enough to want to pre-order the PS5 in this amount. And I think it really last gen really paid off for them, and it's just helping them smoothly sail into next gen. But how do you guys feel about that?
I think it's bullshit that
yeah, no, I know.
In 12 hours, they got what they got in 12 weeks for the PS4, and I still don't have a fucking pre-order.
I think a lot of it was like bots. Like just
I think so too.
Available. Maybe people didn't realize how much money they can make reselling PS4s whenever PS4 first came out. I don't feel like this is real. Mm-hmm. Like I don't feel like they've actually they've sold it if they've gotten the money, yeah. But I don't feel like it's actually players getting those consoles, because I've seen them on eBay, the pre-orders being resold. So clearly that's not people trusting PlayStation. That's just like, oh, can I make a couple dollars off desperate people like Gabe and Kellie? Like, okay, I will. You know?
And by a couple, she means like $1,200. I went on eBay and looked too.
I think. Well, first of all, y'all were just like, nah, it ain't even fans, it's bots, which is totally a valid, that's a valid statement, of course. And obviously, we'll find out in, 2 weeks what's going to happen with that. But in this article, which is from IGN, written by our friend who's also been on the show before, Wesley. So, hi, Wesley.
Hey, Wesley, shout out.
This is his article over at IGN. It says that the PS4 pre-order numbers aren't known, but we know that it surpassed 1 million pre-orders worldwide by July 2013, which is 4 months before the console's launch, and over 1 million PS4s were sold within the console's first 24 hours after launch. If the PS5 pre-order numbers in the first 12 hours match the first 12 weeks of the PS4 pre-orders, we wouldn't be surprised if the PS5 pre-order number is nearing or past 1 million in the US, which, if you have 1 million units to go during COVID that are able to be pre-ordered, I think that is definitely something to celebrate, because I honestly thought going into this we were going to have, and I know that people still haven't gotten pre-orders, and I know the time for the pre-orders was super limited, and I know they did this weird thing where some people were invited to pre-order and some people weren't, and I still don't even know how that worked, because I got my invite like 2 days after the day that the PlayStation 5 went on sale, and I was lucky enough to sit in the line and grab one. But I think it's really great that they would have that many consoles ready to go by launch date during a COVID year, and I do think that there were a lot of people that were definitely grabbing for this, but I also can't say that there weren't bots there. So I think they deserve some congratulations, and so does Xbox for being able to not delay the release of their consoles.
Mm-hmm. What I'll say real quick though regarding all of this is Gabe and Kellie said, there's definitely a lot of scalpers out there for sure. That being said, I think there are like a good amount of sales going on, like legitimate sales going on for the PlayStation 5 because Sony, they've been on the PS3. I think is like the only time where they weren't like killing it like right at the beginning because of their like really high price point at the very beginning and a lot of the bad marketing otherwise. But they caught up really well at the PS3's end. And then with some lot of missteps on Xbox One when they're selling the Xbox One, PS4 was like stayed to like really do well on that regard. And since then, like I looked this up actually a few days ago, as like far as like best selling consoles, PS2 is still the number one selling console in history, but PS4 is actually not that far behind, which was a surprise to me. I think it's like on third place, like which is crazy. I mean, it has been in the market for like 7 years now, and it's gonna at least keep selling games for at least until 2021, even with the PS5 out. But yeah, I think people are really like just behind Sony, like really hardcore. And so the PS5, they haven't really made that many mistakes when it came to the PS4. And people noticed that. So the PS5, when that's coming out, people took notice. And of course, that's where their interest lies. That's where the games that they really want lie. And like, again, I think just besides the PS3, they've just been constantly up and up. I think we may see one day where they get a console that surpasses the PS2. I don't think it'll be anytime soon. Because PS2, now that I think about it, was like out for like 14 years compared to the 7 of PS4. Like the last game that came out for the PS2 was one of the FIFA games. One of the last FIFA games came out on PS4, PS3, and PS2. So I saw that, I was like, excuse me? No, I'm sorry, it wasn't FIFA, it was Pro Evolution Soccer. That's what it was. Pro Evolution Soccer 2014. That was the last PS2 game to ever come out.
Brendan, I love that you have this knowledge in your head. I would not have been able to tell anyone that. Like, kudos to you, bro.
I found this out like a few years ago from like a Scott the Woz, where he did a video called "Consoles That Refuse to Die," and he talked about the last game releases of every single console, and some of those numbers were shocking. That's the one that stuck out to me though, because that meant that PS2 literally just lasts the entirety of the life cycle of PS3. So like, oh wow.
I mean, they also have a lot of exclusives that have definitely pulled them through this gen. I think it was last year that correct me if I'm wrong, but I think last year like half of, or more than half of, the Game of the Year titles that were nominated were PlayStation 4 exclusives. No?
I mean, God of War 1 2018, that was a PS4 exclusive.
Oh, was it 2018? I remember that.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
There was a year, I guess it was 2018, that like half of the list of Game of the Year titles were all just PlayStation exclusives. So
that might have been last year. Was Sekiro a PS4 exclusive or no?
No.
It was not. Okay. So that was multi-platform.
But like, that I remember whenever that happened, I was like, yeah, that is definitely something to be said about the quality of these titles. People are still talking about God of War, excited for the God of War 2 or God of War Ragnarok, and Spider-Man Miles Morales is coming up, Horizon Zero Dawn is another one, Persona 5, everything on their PS Plus collections list. The list goes on. Those experiences are special because I experienced some of them, and I felt special. I mean, The Last of Us 2 was a huge thing. Whether you played it or not, you heard about it, you saw it, you heard the controversy around it. That is the power of PlayStation. And I think that's going to be what Xbox is going to be working on this gen. And I mean, Kelly, you can tell me how you feel about it, but I do think that that's what Xbox is going to be working on this gen with the acquisition of all these studios. And they have their first-party stuff. They're working on it. Halo's not out yet, but it's coming. I'm going to ask you, Kelly, since you're an Xbox expert, how do you think Xbox is going to do this time?
I feel like they're really trying to acquire some more like exclusives, because PlayStation really did have like excellent exclusives. We can agree on that. But Xbox is really they're trying so hard. Like, I've never seen a company try so hard. I mean, spending billions just to acquire a company like ZeniMax, who obviously is the parent company of Bethesda. It's like they're so willing to buy everyone. Didn't I make a tweet? I was like, if you can't beat them, buy them. Yes. I feel like that's what they're doing. But I feel like it is a smart move. I don't want it to be monopolized by Microsoft, obviously, which I don't think, Sony is never going to sell some of those titles. And obviously Sony is huge, so they wouldn't be hopefully ever being bought by Microsoft. But I don't want like a monopoly, but at the same time, they're making like these power moves to get some exclusives. And someone said that Bethesda doesn't sell consoles on Twitter. And I'm thinking to myself, like,
that is not true.
Gabe,
Gabe alone. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Bethesda sells games. People play games. Like, I had this guy I used to work with. He only played Fallout.
Yep.
That was his only game that he ever played. So, like, you tell me Bethesda doesn't sell consoles, and I'll be like, you're lying. You know, that's not true at all. But that's what people were trying to say, and I think that was a really smart move. And whenever those, like, exclusives start actually coming out, only the Xbox, we might see it kind of flipped, where the Xboxes are going to sell more.
Not only that, but, I mean, the Series S is so affordable. Why wouldn't you plop the $300 down to be able to play those exclusives while you also have your PlayStation 5 and then you have your Switch? Like, this is probably one of the most affordable years for, and I say that knowing that, you know, we're affected by COVID, but I think this is one of the most affordable generations to jump into with digital versions, because you know, for under $1,000 you can have both brand new consoles, you know, and you don't have to get them at the same time, but it is definitely a purchase down the line. Like, if you grab a Series S, you can get a PS5 digital edition for $400 in 2-3 years, and then be able to get those exclusives hopefully for free on, you know, a PlayStation Plus collection.
Well, and the Series S, it's affordable and it's digital only, which I know the specs are a little bit lower, but it's like, damn, I forgot where I was going with this. That sucks. Well, anyways. No, it was affordable, but it was like also, I don't know. I lost it. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, I'll try to help you out. The Series S is affordable, and you won't have to pay, extra money. You're not going to hopefully be paying $70, and, you know, you get to save money on taxes, if you even pay taxes, because maybe your state doesn't have taxes. I don't know.
Or it could be Yoshi.
Huh?
Or it could be Yoshi who doesn't pay taxes.
Oh, I remember that. That was so stupid.
Remember, man, I made a joke about that like literally 2 days ago. It's never died for me.
But speaking on Xbox, if you remember, Kelly, just let me know. But speaking on Xbox, the last thing I want to bring up about them is that the Halo Infinite director has also left the project after its delay. Joe Staten. Halo Infinite project director Chris Lee has left the project after following a delay that will see the next Master Chief Adventure released in 2021 instead of this holiday, and that was by Matt Kim over at IGN. And he's not the first person, because creative director Tim Longa left 343 in 2019, followed by lead producer Mary Olsen, and Halo veteran Joe Stanton now leads the single-player campaign development. And Pierre Hintz is leading the multiplayer. So this game has me so scared. This is the Halo that I'm going to jump into Xbox on eventually when it comes out. It is already, it was, I'm sure, a tough decision to be like, hey, our star game that's literally on the back of the box of our console is not coming out. But having so many people leave and during production of this title, I just keep getting more and more afraid for what's going to happen to Halo. How do you guys feel about what's happening over there?
Yeah, I pretty much feel the exact same way, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like, when that delay was announced, obviously there's a lot of people said because that was the launch title for Xbox Series S and Series S. But, a lot of people, despite them being upset, most people, I would say, were pretty understanding of it. In fact, like myself, respected them for delaying it. But now that we're having all these, big industry mix-ups going on, everything is getting, moved around as far as the development team and stuff like that. It asks questions about what's really going on behind the scenes of development.
Right? What are you doing?
Did you delay it because you couldn't finish it in time? You just wanted to make it better? Or is there some internal company drama going on, actually, creative differences and all that jazz?
Yeah.
And that's the real worry, because when people start butting heads because of creative stuff, it can potentially hurt the project. At the very least, it'll change the project drastically for good, for better, or for worse. So we won't know until that game comes out. But the fact that this is happening, when is this coming out again? I'm sorry, do you guys have the date on that?
I don't. I just know it's 2021.
Okay, maybe they don't know for sure. Like, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but like, yeah, I would think if it was supposed to come out at the launch, it couldn't have been like a huge delay, but like this could either result in it being delayed again, like we can get another Cyberpunk situation, or it'll just be a situation where just again, like I was saying, won't be what it was going to be, and hopefully that's for the better. We'll see.
I mean, it also could have been, I'm sure people's complaints about the graphics when they were expecting something for.
Sure, that was probably a factor in delay, if we're being honest here. Mm-hmm. For sure, but of course now we know there could be other factors, and again we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so many people leaving. I'm just like, what's going on over there?
Yeah, that's a bad sign. No matter how you take that, like multiple people leaving is definitely a bad sign.
Might not be bad. They might just want to go work on something else.
This soon in development, like I think if they just really want to work on something else, I would just wait till it's done.
You guys got this.
Unless someone is just like dangling a bag in front of them and like, hey, work on this now. Like, but if it's the bag though, I'm like, all right, we're out.
It could be like, look, I did my part. You guys got the rest of this. Launch it. Good luck. I gotta go.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it was more of like, our part's done already.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
Like,
I mean, I hope that's what it is.
Launch this shit when it's done. Yeah. Good luck.
Make sure my name's
there. I'm done. I got other shit to do. We're working on next gen.
Go back for the launch party though, because I'm down.
Exactly. I'll be there for that. Y'all already put the shit on the back of the box. Just throw it out there. We're ready when we're ready. Good luck. I'm gonna go work on something with Bethesda now. Because I can do that. I don't know.
Actually, that might be what it is. Damn, you're right.
They might be working on.
Because now Bethesda
got
the
stuff.
Xbox power with them.
Mm-hmm. Which reminds me, it reminds me of what Kellie said. When you have the power of Xbox behind your studio, what can happen next?
Oh yeah, I remembered what I was gonna say about the Series S.
Tell us.
Oh, cool.
It's more available.
Yeah.
They have more of them. So actually, it's at a lower price point. Plus, you can actually get one. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I should probably just get one. Because whenever I was trying to pre-order the X, I could have gotten an S still. And I was like, well, that's not what I want.
Yeah.
But I could have a pre-ordered S right now. I just wanted the better one. But like I said, I even think I saw them on Microsoft. Like, there was pre-orders available. And I just haven't committed to it. But they're more available than the X. So that's something else. Like, you'll be able to get one.
Which is
you'll be in next gen for $300.
Exactly. That's definitely. I'm so happy you brought that up because that is, that is something that you can't do over at PlayStation side, and I swear this is on purpose. Like they have, I really feel like they limited the amount of the disc version of the PS5. I'm sorry, the digital version of the PS5 on purpose because essentially it's a loss of money. Like no matter how you look at it, for those systems to be almost identical and one to be $100 less just to try to compete with Xbox. I think that's why they're so not available. So I think it's really cool that Xbox is making the digital version so available for people to jump in because that's just it's going to sell itself. If I wasn't getting a Series X, I would totally buy an S, but I'm a graphics whore. That's literally the only reason is because
I play the shittiest games ever, so I don't care about graphics. I play games from like 2014. I don't care.
I love that you do that. See, that's why you're on here because I can't do that. I try and I can't get it done. I'm pretty much the only other thing I want to say is that the Final Fantasy 16 information dropped today, and I'm super excited. That's why I'm a Moogle.
Yes.
Kellie, have you ever played a Final Fantasy game?
No.
Gabe, have you ever played a Final Fantasy game aside from Final Fantasy 7, which you're playing right now?
Actually, yeah, I have actually. Oh, surprise. I played like the first 5 minutes of Final Fantasy 1 for the Game Boy.
Okay.
I also played. I'm not done, Jerel. I played Final Fantasy 14.
Oh, really?
I don't know why you're making that face. I love Final Fantasy 14. Literally, this Moogle is literally from Final Fantasy 14. I am a huge 14 fan.
All right, I want more reaction when I say I played. Like Brandon's the only one that gave me something.
Last time I tried to react, you were like, "I'm not done, Jerel," and I was like, "Okay, well, I'll let him finish."
And here you are, still interrupting me. I'm not done.
Oh my god!
Continue.
Yeah, I played 14 because I actually had my brother used to play it, and like my brother's not a very gamey guy, but like he would just wake up, breakfast, brush his teeth, do his morning hygiene stuff, and start playing.
Because that game's
And
good
then-
as fuck.
Yeah, but like no, but like Jerel, I mean, I've never seen a game pull someone in as much as it did to him. Like when Breath of the Wild came out, I played that game like 10 hours straight for a day. My brother played Final Fantasy 14 10 hours straight for like 3 months.
It's an MMO. You lose yourself in it, bro.
It
That's what
was
you do.
amazing. I played that one. I've also played my personal favorite, and I'm probably gonna get some hate from this. My personal favorite, World of Final Fantasy.
Oh my!
I've heard good things about that. That game looks adorable. I haven't touched it myself yet,
Cute. I love it. It's free on Game Pass, I believe. I think. I don't know, but it's so cute.
It was on sale for the Switch. I think like last week or something.
It's so
I almost got
cute.
it again, but I still have it for the PS4.
Oh
Yeah, but
my
that game,
gosh.
so much fun. Don't understand what's happening in it, but
Yeah,
so
like
much
you have to have played other Final Fantasies to understand.
Yeah, it's,
like
it's one of those
yeah,
crossover Final Fantasy games.
it's literally just like how many Final Fantasy characters can we throw into one thing, and how many Easter eggs can we put in one game?
that's
have
what it
fun.
felt like.
It's
That's
literally
definitely
like
what it felt like.
Final Fantasy meets Pokemon meets chibi adorableness. Like it is the cutest shit ever. So
Yeah.
you're playing FF7 Remake now, right? Yeah. Kelly, can I get you to play a Final Fantasy game?
He'll buy it for you.
I will. I will literally
He
send
will.
you a copy of a Final
You
Fantasy
just
game.
gotta choose which one you
If
want.
you-
There's like
if
several
you
of them
can
on
commit-
PC too.
If you can commit to doing this for the podcast, I will send you a Final Fantasy game.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
The needle in her head went from swaying to just okay, he's buying it.
Listen, I live by one motto. If it's free, it's for me.
I
Like,
love
that's
that.
Literally how I
That's
live
really
my
good.
life.
That's
Yeah.
really
It's-
good.
If you invite me to something, you say there's free food, I'm like, I'll be there.
Actually,
If it's a funeral, I'll go. Like,
Oh.
it don't matter.
do you have a Game Pass, Kelly?
No.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I think you should play Final Fantasy 15, but I'm gonna get you like a month or two of Game Pass, and then you gotta just play through it.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Oh, cool.
Sure.
Alright, cool. On the podcast, and now you're gonna have to update us every week on your podcast. On your playthrough.
How long do I need to play to get done with it?
She's like already like, how long is this gonna take me? Oh my god, I want to be done already. I have no idea. You can take your
Okay.
time. I just want to
Okay.
hear how it's going. And Gabe, I'm gonna end the podcast, but really quick. How are you liking Final Fantasy VII, the remake?
Damn, man, that's a good ass game. Like,
Yes, I did.
like, I've only gone because I'm recording for the site. I'm recording for HPCritical, and we're gonna release a YouTube series on it. But like, I've only gotten past the first like actual boss, which was that scorpion thing
Yes,
in the
sir.
reactor, which mind you was kicking my ass, and
I
I
think-
almost died on the first go. When the first boss gives me a hard time, I know I'm gonna enjoy the game. And there goes my Dark Souls in me talking again.
Yes.
But that's usually how I judge a game. But yeah, like everything, like literally everything from the graphics to, I'm a big music guy, so of course I'm gonna
Oh
judge
my
the
god, the
music.
music is so good.
You're gonna see in the video,
It's amazing.
the game's gonna start, and at some point you're just like, I usually lean back in my chair, but at some point you're gonna see me lean forward to listen to the music because it's lower down on my screen so my mic doesn't catch it. But like,
It's
and I'll
so
start
good.
smiling randomly. And it's like nothing,
yeah,
like
that's the
there's
best.
still a black screen with the blue letters of like the developers and all that, and I'm smiling. You're like, the hell is he smiling at? And it's because I hear the music. Like to me, Final Fantasy has always had some of the best music in the world,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
to finally play a game that everyone talks about and get
Have
to
you
enjoy.
wait?
the
Have
music.
you ever played the original?
Funny story about that. Actually, when
You have a second. You have 15 seconds to tell me about it.
All right, so in the beginning of the year when they first announced Final Fantasy VII, the remake, I was like, oh, cool. Then they said that there was going to be like an HD version available on the PSN, but it wasn't like the remake. It was the weird
I
polygon
remember that,
graphics
yeah.
one. I
Yeah.
downloaded that, played it for 2 seconds, and I was like, this remake sucks ass. And I never played it again.
Oh no! You said the remix.
I thought that was the remake.
Thank
I
you for
thought-
telling that story succinctly. That was really good. You talked really fast.
Yeah, 'cause I can talk fast when I want to, I just don't choose
Kelly,
to.
do you have access to a PS4?
Me? Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get you Final Fantasy VII instead.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Yep. Now you and Gabe can play through and give us updates. I'm gonna literally send it to your house right now.
Okay.
And with that, thank you guys.
Real quick,
Sorry.
before we wrap
Yeah.
up, just want to talk really quick about the 16 since you did bring it up.
Oh my god, yes.
So I did dive onto that website and looked at the lore. Oh man, they have so much lore already. Like this game is not coming out for literally more than half a year, and they already have so much information. And yeah, I'm just excited. Just like all the lore that they put in with the 3 characters they've introduced, and the 7 kingdoms that are out there. How they treat like the people that have powers. Like Gabe, you'll appreciate this. There's like characters in 16 that are called dominions that like bear like the summons within their body. They're literally the Jinchuriki. Some people praise them, and some people revile them. And it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out in the story.
Is that from Naruto or something?
Yeah, it's from
Jinchurikis
Naruto.
are
okay.
Naruto. Yeah.
It's like I don't know.
Naruto's Jinchuriki, but yeah, that's all I have to say.
I haven't actually read it yet.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to say them anymore. Read it for sure, because there's a lot of cool information. That's just a general idea.
I'm super excited to read it, but I will say that Naoki Yoshida is the producer, I believe, for that title, and he is the director of Final Fantasy XIV, which is literally one of my favorite Final Fantasy stories. So I'm super duper excited to dive into that. I've said on the previous podcast I was not excited for 16, but I'm a huge lore person. I will play an ugly game or like an old game if it has some really great lore, and I haven't read it yet, but I'm super excited because I know that they're gonna have some like crazy nonsense, and hopefully, going forward, I can get all of you to play 16 when it comes out if I just get you all PS5s. So now I just gotta buy you all PS5s.
You don't have to convince me. I'm 16.
You guys heard it here
16
first.
day
He said
one.
he's gonna buy us the PS5.
No. I said I have to so you can play the game.
Recording.
I did not say I'm buying PS5.
Too late.
Oh.
Nah, and the director is Hiroshi Takai, and there's a lot of things that I will say on the next podcast about FF16 when I actually read through it and have more to say. The last thing I will say is Halloween. Are we having any Halloween specials, any Halloween streams, anything you guys want to throw out there before we end?
Oh, yes. You want me to go first, or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So for HPCritical, I'm doing like a lot of stuff on Halloween Day itself. So early in the afternoon, I have the tentative start day as 3 p.m. right now, but it may be earlier depending on like certain things that happen. I'm going to be they're doing the Splatoon 2 Halloween Splatfest, so I'm definitely going to be playing that for a little bit, just going through that. These next 2 are maybes, but I'm going to try to do the Super Mario Bros. 35 Halloween event they got going on for like half an hour, and then Scarescraper Luigi's Mansion 3 for like randoms. The last thing for sure, though, is at 7 p.m.-ish on Halloween night, is I'm going to be doing an Animal Crossing New Horizons stream with like guests. I got like 2 down already. We're just going to just hang out and just see all the different trick-or-treating things that you can do in Animal Crossing during that night. It should be a lot of fun. That's going to be at 7 p.m. on Saturday night. And again, the Splatoon thing is going to be 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. Follow our social media for confirmation on that one.
Kelly, are you doing anything before or around Halloween?
Tomorrow night I'll be playing Phasmophobia. I actually found like a group of people. I don't know, it might fall through, but I found like this group of people that wanted to play Phasmophobia together, like a bunch of streamers. So that would be happening tomorrow. I'd like to finish Outlast. But I don't know. I'm like beating the doctor, and I'm just like even watching gameplay of it because I watched a walkthrough so I could beat it because I think I'm close to the end. I don't know, like I can't tell, and I don't want any spoilers, so I don't want to look it up. But I'm trying to finish the game because I just want to say like I beat.
You
Outlast.
beat it, yeah.
Like, yeah.
I know that feeling.
So I'm like trying, but I don't know. Every time I turn it on, I just sit in the start menu for like 20 minutes, just like I can do this, and then I grab a beer because I can't do it without being drunk. It's so insanely scary. It's hard to play.
It's really
I'm just like
scary.
drinking alcohol, like okay, now I can play. But that's literally all I got.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna do a Halloween stream or not. I did all my costumes already. So
yeah, they've been amazing. Thank you for thank you all for dressing up today. Thank you for the idea, Kelly. Thank you guys for looking awesome on the stream. I can't wait until this goes up on YouTube. That is twitch.tv/HPCritical and twitch.tv/Khaleesi. They will both be in the article for this podcast. Gabe, are you uploading anything for Halloween?
Most likely not. Actually, I might upload something to my YouTube, which is Fail Guru, all lowercase, no space. I don't know what it is yet. I'm gonna find some. I'm probably gonna go through Warzone again and scare the shit out of myself. Probably with my cousin this time. Who knows?
Are we not
But
good
I
enough for
do
you?
have something else to say. It's not really Halloween related, but since I'm wearing it, as you can see, my costume is Napoleon Dynamite, and it says "Vote for Pedro." Ignore the vote for part of ignore the for Pedro part. Look at the top. You have until November 3rd. That is when, if you are eligible to vote, we would, it'd be good if you did exercise the right to vote.
And if you're voting, and you should, either do it in person, or if you do have the mail-in, bring your mail-in ballot directly to your place, because it is now too late to mail it in if you haven't done that already. So do not send it through the mail, because they will not get it in time. Literally take your mail-in and deliver it there if that's what you did, or just go in person. Either is fine.
Yes.
Just make yourself.
Look at you
And wear a
guys
mask.
being so
And wear a mask, like me.
conscious. I love you all. This is
But
the
has
For
to
the
best.
love
cover
of
your
God.
mouth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cover your
but
mouth.
Sounds like kind of mask.
Don't be like me. But be like me.
Yes, and anyone who does listen to this podcast, don't skip through the ads, because we have an ad that I recorded myself that's all about voting. So definitely check that out as well. Okay. And with that, happy Halloween, guys.
Happy Halloween.
God, happy
Ah.
Halloween.
And we will talk to you all later. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Ah.
HPCritical!